McClaughry, how would you describe what it was like in the locker room during that selection show?
Yeah, it was. We were very nervous. I think a lot of us were just sitting there not knowing what was going to happen, and then we all had a feeling that it was either going to be us, USC, or ASU in that last spot where we ended up getting it, and we were all just sitting there. I remember I was sitting next to Tony Bullard and Tyler Casagrande, and like we saw the names pop up, and we just went crazy.
Did you end up on the bottom of the pile, or
Yeah, I like ran and jumped on everybody, and then I hugged Casa, and we both fell to the ground. We were just on the ground for like 20 seconds, so that's all I remember.
now you're in? So how do you take advantage of this opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like treat it similar to how we did the Pac-12 tournament. I think a lot of people didn't expect us to even make the Pac-12 tournament. We got in, got our chance, and we ran with it. And I think that's exactly how we have to prepare for this as well. Playing with house money, we got nothing to lose. Play our best baseball. We're playing our best baseball right now, so I'm excited.
You saw Ole Miss what they did last year. That they were kind of in a similar position where people didn't think they deserved to get in, but a team that's motivated and hot. Can you use what you saw from them?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been done, so you can do it as well. So that's a really cool part about it. And I mean, I feel like we have a lot of similarities with that team. We're a lot older team. We got a lot of old hitters on the offensive side who have been in big situations. So I think that something like this isn't going to be too big of a moment for a lot of us. And I think helping younger guys like Mason and some other pitchers that haven't really been in a big situation like that is going to be huge, and we can do that with our experience.
You have to trade to go home this season. What goes into something like that?
Just saying screw it and going. That's all I. I mean, there's nothing much to really think about. It's just like in both those situations, the third baseman was really far off the line because Kiko is up and Chase is up. We're both up, and they get shifted a lot. So that's the one thing I noticed. And then I just talked to Toby at third base to say, "Can I go?" And he says yes. And that's about all.
One was against the lefty and one was a righty.
Pitcher?
Pitcher.
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't
Yep.
it easier against the lefty theoretically since their back is?
I don't know. I mean, the guy that was the righty kept looking down at the ground, so I saw that, and also I was able to get so far off third base both situations. So
The Oregon State one, it looked like you almost forgot to slide.
yeah, well, I was running, and I was like, okay, I gotta get to home, and like, oh crap, I need to slide, so I just slid last second. Yeah.
Is that something you've done in the past?
No,
Steal
never,
home?
never done it.
Never.
No, not until this year. So I saw West Virginia did it against us, and I was like, that was really smart. Like, if that ever comes, and then I got a third, and I was like, oh my gosh, I could do this right now.
Well, but now you're going to be playing a team in TCU that steals a ton.
Yeah.
So you and Mason are going to have to be figuring out who's covering the bag and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
How has he done now that he's inserted into the lineup on an everyday basis? I mean, he's what, like 5 years younger than you?
Yeah, I don't know how much younger he is than me, but he's for sure taking strides. And I mean, there's a lot of times where I got to get on him for certain things. Just, I mean, he's a young kid. He's never really failed in his life until he got here. So dealing with failure, that's the biggest thing I think he's done a lot better at towards the end of the season, where he can get from one at bat to another instead of letting it snowball into four bats where he's upset about it. And he's done a really good job of getting to the next pitch.
Well, and Chip had said that you can't really, they're going to get their steals. Don't overthink it to where it's going to take away from the defense and the pitching and all that. Is that a matter you have to kind of decide between leaving the hole open where someone can hit through or going for the base?
I feel like it's more of just the pitchers controlling it at first base. Um, with the pitch clock, you can kind of hold the clock till it gets to like 2 or 3 seconds, then pitch, and then at some points you pitch faster in the pitch clock. And I think that as a base stealer, it's really hard to take a lead and be comfortable when the pitcher's constantly changing his holds and look at second base. So I think that's a big thing for us, just controlling it and then being ready when the ball hits you and not being too focused on trying to do too much.
Big game of failure. Usually talk about that with batters, more than pitchers. Best case scenario, right? You get it maybe 3 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
But your bullpen this year has had a lot of rough outings, walk-off losses, etc. Bounced back really nicely in the Pac-12 tournament. How have you tried to support those guys?
Yeah, just letting them know that today is a new day, and I think getting to the next pitch is the most important thing. Whether you're a hitter, pitcher, on defense, have a routine that gets you to that next pitch where you're mentally focused and know what you're supposed to do. I think a good example was Barraza on whatever day that was against Oregon State. I was just he was in a big situation, needing 3 outs with the guy on third base, and just he did a really good job of getting to the next pitch, taking a deep breath, controlling your breath and controlling your emotions. That's all you can do.
The team huddle, you guys do?
Yeah.
Well, Chip said that started Sunday at the Stanford game. Is that just something that the team decided to do? And what do you guys talk about?
Well, we used to always just do the hitters, and we do like the Chicago Bulls, like what they always do, like what time is it, game time, who, that thing. And then the last day at Stanford, we're like, why don't we get the pitch? Like, why not the pitchers? Because they're always doing stuff out here, like playing catch. But we interrupted them and told them to come join us. And ever since, I thought we've really come together as a team, and we just talk about like dumb stories, and then like someone will talk about like what we need to do that day, and then we'll be locked in for that game. So it's a cool way to just like not think about anything that's going on. Like, I mean, I could be 0 for 10 my last 10 at bats, but for those 4 or 5 minutes we're in that huddle, we're not thinking about that at all. So I think that's huge.
Is that a good example of how one side, the hitters or the pitchers, aren't too worried about what the other, like getting upset about them because they're
Yeah.
not living up to their end
Yeah,
of the
I
bargain?
mean, we're all a team and we're in this together. That's what I always say. Like when the hitters are going bad, the pitchers need to help pick us up, and I think that's a huge thing. When we're all in that huddle, we can all just laugh about whatever we were talking about and stuff, and then get prepared for what we need to do that day. So I think that's huge.
Your batting average is up about 60 points or so over last season. What did you do? What did you work on? How'd you get better?
Just focusing on my approach to the plate with the coaches. I think that's been a huge thing. Um, and just dialing in my swing a little bit. I think that's been a big focus for me. I've been healthy. I think last year I got kind of banged up a little bit, and that screwed me up at the plate a little bit. But just focused on trying to help the team, and we got a lot of other really good hitters on this team, and I think there's no pressure for me or anybody to do too much. I mean, I got Chase Davis, who's probably one of the best players in college baseball, and Kiko Romero, RBI leader. I mean, in school history. So all I gotta do is get on base, and that's my goal, and they'll knock me in. So
That action of sweeping the leg, like in the batter's box in between pitches.
yeah,
Is that new? I recall
Yeah.
Tanner used to do that.
yeah. OT is one of my best friends, and just seeing him in the box, he always had that presence where like you knew he was at the box. Like when he was in the box, everyone was watching, and the pitcher was afraid of him. Like no one wanted to pitch to Tanner, and just that mentality of it's my box and no one can mess with me in the box. I think that's been huge. And I think that I learned that especially from him. Yeah.
You think people are afraid of you?
I don't know, but I don't know about that, but they're definitely afraid of Tanner Trump. I'll say that.
Do you feel like the team is playing its best overall baseball heading into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think pitching's been really good the last week or so. We're playing great defense, and I mean our hitters. We're just doing what we do, and I think the most important thing is just keep doing what we're doing, and can't try to do too much. I think the biggest thing this last week was playing in that championship game against Oregon. It was a regional. I mean, I played in a regional final, a super regional in Omaha, and I feel like that was the exact same feel. And I think that's huge for all of the guys to experience that. And now going into Fayetteville, Arkansas, where it's a big environment, I think that was a huge step for us to be prepared for that.
Great, thank you, Nick.